inside the stadium, and you can tell the crowd is ready. What a play! Touchdown, he's in! Wow, listen to this play.
Let's go! That's a great team win. It's not enough. I want more.
Y'all want it.
All right, and welcome into the Browns Live Playoff Special. Nathan Zegura with you for the next hour. And boy, do we have a great show for you. It is a parade of luminaries to celebrate what the Browns have accomplished so far in the 2020 season. But guess what? Spoiler alert, we want more. Oh yes, there is more work to do, and we're going to talk about that game against the Kansas City Chiefs. But first, let's talk about why we're here. That's because the Browns, without their head coach, without Joel Bitonio, without Denzel Ward, without a cast of others, went down into Pittsburgh last Sunday night, the main event of Super Wild Card Weekend. They said the Browns couldn't do it. The Browns said, really? We went out there 28-0 after the first quarter against the Steelers. 28-0, the most points ever scored in the history of the National Football League in the first quarter of a playoff game. And folks, the route was on. 48-37, the end of the Steelers season, and 1-0 once again for the Browns, who have now won 12 times this year, and they look to go 1-0 again this week against the Chiefs. We'll preview that game coming up momentarily. But let me tell you what we've got on tap for you here today in the Browns Live Playoff Special. That's right. Strap in your seatbelt because Browns Fever, the Browns Express, is running wild. We've got a great one for you. General Manager Andrew Berry is here. The heart and soul of your Cleveland Browns, Jarvis Landry, is here. We've got from the NFL Network, Andrew Siciliano, a Cleveland fan at heart. We have got, of course, Browns living legend Bernie Kosar to join us, and then Canton's own CJ McCollum, Brown superfan, Portland Trailblazer star. He will join us as well. And as always, Browns Live is about you, the best fans in the NFL. So get your questions in using the hashtag Browns Live, and we will feature them on our show with our great lineup of guests. And if you just want to make a comment, as you look at the bottom of your screen there, you're going to see the scroll. And we're pushing those comments in real time so you guys can communicate with each other and share in the celebration, share in the fun. But remember, we want more. That's right. There is more to come, more to do. And speaking of more, in addition to Browns Live Playoff Special, you know what else is going on? I'll tell you right here. It's the Browns Playoff Drive-Thru Rally at First Energy Stadium, just outside this building that I'm sitting in right now. And let me tell you something. When I say you're the best fans in the NFL, you prove it time and time again. Trying to get here this morning to do this show, backed up for miles, cars decorated, cars honking, Browns fans having the time of their lives, driving through, getting the exclusive playoff poster, seeing Browns alumni like the top dog, Hanford Dixon. And remember, this is all COVID safe. You're staying in your car, we're keeping our distance, and we're celebrating what the Browns have accomplished and what they hope to accomplish this Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. And no, that's not all. In addition to that, the Pro Shop, it's open until 5 o'clock today, so you can get your hands on the beautiful playoff gear like this hoodie. There are great beanies, there are great hats, shirts, you name it. They got it at the Browns Pro Shop, and it's open until 5 today. And guess what? Not only are you getting yourself some great Browns playoff gear, celebrating this special, historic 2020 season, but you're also doing good. The net proceeds of everything sold at the Pro Shop today will benefit the Cleveland Browns Foundation, which helped so many great causes here in Northeast Ohio. Again, you want to be a part of this? We want you to be a part of this. Use the hashtag Browns Live for your questions and your comments. Again, Andrew Berry, Andrew Siciliano, Jarvis Landry, Bernie Kosar, Bernie, that's right, and CJ McCollum. It is the Browns Live Playoff Special, and we couldn't be happier that you're joining us. We couldn't be happier that we're doing this right now. Last week, no Kevin Stefanski, no Joel Bitonio, no Denzel, no problem. The Browns Express rolls on. Next stop, Kansas City, and that is the task at hand, isn't it? You're taking on the defending Super Bowl champions. They are 14-2 this year, the number one seed in the AFC, and they are a darn good football team. Patrick Mahomes, former NFL MVP, that's their quarterback. Mahomes has had a sensational season so far this year, and that is no surprise whatsoever. 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns on the season, and you add in his rushing, he's accounted for over 5,000 yards of offense, over 40 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes has been nothing short of spectacular, and that's why the Chiefs, They're the number one offense in the NFL. They're the number one passing offense in the NFL. And they've got the best receiving duo in the league. Tyreek Hill, the best vertical threat in the National Football League. He can get down the field. 8 of his 15 touchdowns this year came from more than 20 yards out. Again, 8 of his 15 from more than 20 yards out. So they've got the best vertical threat in the league. The guy averaged about 15 yards a catch. And they also have a Clevelander at tight end who is pretty darn good in his own right. Travis Kelce. Kelce second in the NFL, over 1,400 yards receiving this season, 11 touchdowns. And you know what? If first of all, the 1,400 yards, most ever by a tight end in a single season. And if Kelce had played in Week 17, probably leads the league in receiving, which would have been the first time that ever has happened with a tight end. And while they've got that vertical threat in Hill, they've got the intermediate threat with Kelce. He led the NFL with 23 catches of 20 yards or more. All right, we told you we set the stage. We're going to get to keys to victory later on, let you guys all know what is going on with this Browns, how they go into Kansas City and do what they've done all year long and get those big W's. As I said, get your questions in, because coming up next, we start the parade of luminaries, the parade of stars, Browns fans reveling, celebrating, enjoying everything that's happening here in this magical 2020 season when CJ McCollum stops by to kick off the Browns Live Playoff Special.
The Browns will get their 11th win of the year, and they're going to the playoffs.
But there's work left to be done. But the goal was never just to make the playoffs. I know we're going to be playing this team again next week.
Breaking news just in.
5 total positive tests for COVID-19 today.
Kevin Stefanski won't be on the sidelines. They're down all these players, and all of a sudden the special teams coach is the head coach?
It's a bad situation, and it's getting worse. I don't see how the Cleveland Browns, fully loaded, can beat Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh.
And they are the same Browns until the Browns win this football game.
They will go to the Steel City this Sunday, and they will go down.
And the snap goes high over the head of Big Ben, all the way back to the 2, to the 1, and the Browns have it in the end zone. Touchdown!
People on the outside don't matter to us. It's on the inside, and we believe the whole time, and that's all that matters.
Now he dumps it over the middle. It's picked off. MJ Stewart's got it. Gibson, Hunt runs. He buries that shoulder and drives in for a touchdown.
You look up and you're like, man, are we really down 28-0?
It ain't same old Cleveland.
Same old Browns, boys. Just the same old Browns. Intercepted by Porter Gustin.
It means a lot for our guys to step up. A guy named Blake that I introduced myself to, literally in the locker room, stepped up.
Screen pass right side. Here comes Chubb. He's going. He's gone. Touchdown. They will beat the Steelers 48-37. Kansas City, here we come.
The man himself, baby.
Browns is the Browns.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
The ball game is over, and the Cleveland Browns have made it into the NFL playoffs.
Get your Bud Light, your Bud Light Seltzer here. No matter where you celebrate the Browns, there's always a Bud Light there. And now, it's only one click away from your doorstep. Bud Light Seltzer here.
I'll take one.
Get your Bud Light Seltzer.
Browns fans, you can now train like the pros at Browns Fit. Our 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art fitness facility is open. BrownsFit creates a safe and healthy environment for members and guests and showcases the latest in innovative fitness technology with personal training and much more. Located in the flats of downtown Cleveland on the second floor of the Aloft Hotel. Specials for BrownsFits are available for a limited time, so act now. Visit us at brownsfit.com today to become a member and train like the pros.
Welcome back into the Browns Live Playoff Special. Nathan Zegura, we're going to kick it off. We told you we've got a parade of stars. We're starting with one of the very brightest stars of the National Basketball Association. He is Canton's own Browns fan, CJ McCollum, star guard for the Portland Trail Blazers. And CJ, first of all, you've seen this Browns offense, 5 games with more than 40 points this year. You know a thing or two about scoring, 6 straight seasons, more than 20 points per game. And I don't know if it's the Browns are inspiring you, but off to a career best 27.6 points per game this season with the Trailblazers. And CJ, thanks for being with us here today. And first of all, let me just ask you, how does it feel? How does it feel after all these years to see the Browns doing what they're doing right now?
It feels great, man. It's a long time coming. Our organization has been trending in the right direction for a long time now. Obviously, bringing in Kevin Stefanski, bringing in a lot of different talent. We got Juice, we get Chubb, we draft well, we get Miles. It's just a shame. I say it all the time. It's a shame that Joe Thomas, puts so much hard work in all those years and kind of set the blueprint and the foundation of where we are today. But I'm happy to see us, contending and playing well and trending upward.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm not going to say you're a prognosticator of prognosticators, but on your podcast at around May or so, I think it was May this year, you had a sense that this Browns team was going to do something special, and you certainly nailed that. And you mentioned Joe. Again, I'll pass the message on to him, but let me assure you, he is living vicariously through this team and enjoying every second of it. So talk to me about the Steelers game. Where were you? Were you able to watch it live? And when you were able to watch it, what was kind of going through your mind as you saw this all unfold?
The schedule guys looked out for me, so we actually didn't have a game or practice. We had the primetime game, so I was able to watch. I was in the living room with my wife and my dog. We were all dressed up. I had my jersey on. Dog had her jersey on. Wife had her jersey on. And once we got up 28-0, we started drinking champagne. We felt like the game was over. As an athlete, you kind of know when the game is almost out of reach, and we began celebrating early. I started calling my friends and telling them that, I thought we were going to make the playoffs last year, but this is the year where we took the step forward.
It certainly is, and I love that. Look, you knew going in the game, the Browns were at that point 10-0 when they had the lead at the half. It was good night, Irene. Now they're 11-0 when they have the lead at the half. So an astute observation for you there. Now, I know you grew up in Canton. What were some of your favorite, Browns memories growing up?
Some of my favorite Browns memories, it just stems back to my early childhood. I remember the great days. I remember the terrible days. I remember Josh Cribbs. It's not a lot of great Sundays, honestly. I used to joke all the time as a Browns fan. I love my Browns dearly, but some of the highlights were bye weeks and draft night. And now I look forward to every Sunday. There's actually a Browns bar I can go to out here. Well, pre-COVID, where there's just so many Browns fans out here in Oregon. I just remember competing. And it's funny, although I'm a 90s baby, I still remember like the Bernie Kosar days, growing up in Canton, Ohio. You get to go to the Hall of Fame and you see the history of the Browns and what we performed historically. So a lot of very fond memories that stem way back. And a lot of quarterbacks whose careers didn't necessarily turn out so well. And now we have one whose career is turning out to be everything we could have imagined.
That's right. We've got our elite quarterback, Baker Mayfield, since that opening series against the Cincinnati Bengals, 19 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Now, CJ, I've been excited to talk to you for many reasons, but one is there are very few people that know what it is truly like to be part of a dynamic duo. Now, the Browns have Kareem Hunt and they've got Nick Chubb. They're only the 4th running back tandem in NFL history to have more than 1,200 total yards and 12 touchdowns in the same season for the same team. It's only happened 4 times. You're in a dynamic duo. You and Dame Dollar out there with the Trailblazers, so you kind of understand that dynamic. Tell us, fans, what's it like when you kind of have that situation where there are the 2 of you that are asked to really carry the mail and do it, but you guys, are happy for each other's success working together, but at the same time, you both know you can do it when called upon.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities, honestly, looking at what they've been able to accomplish on their own and then kind of coming together. Obviously, Chubb is an elite back, but he's selfless, and I think you can see it in the way he approaches the game. Old school, he could be cold outside. He got the tape on his fingers, and he's not really tripping about statistics. He's not tripping about individual accolades. He's the epitome of a winner. And then you got Hunt, who's capable, obviously, of being the number 1 option, but has taken a different role to kind of help empower the team. He's been given a second chance, and he's risen to the occasion every night. He's able to score in the red zone. He's able to catch the ball out the backfield and kind of display, some of that versatility to kind of balance out what Chubb has to offer. And then you look at Dame and I, 2 guys who are capable of taking over a game at any moment. But the examples that I've seen from them are similar to us in that we empower each other, and there's no jealousy, and we actually get along well. And I've seen that Chubb said that he was actually best friends with Hunt, which kind of shows you where they're at, playing the same position and still being able to be friends.
Absolutely. Listen, Browns Live is all about the fans. You mentioned getting to go to those Browns backers bars out in Portland and taking the game, seeing all the fans there. So we've got a fan question for you, CJ. We're going to go to that now from the Aesthetics Pod. He says, hey, CJ McCollum, what's your favorite Browns uniform combination of all time? And by the way, what do you think of the new threads? Pretty darn nice, I'd say.
Yeah, I like the new threads, man. That's a tough one. I'm a classic guy, man. So I think I like the current jerseys. I mean, I'd have to really go through it and look at all of them, but I like this. I like this year's jersey, and then I also like the jerseys from back in the the Peyton Hillis days. All those old school jerseys are near and dear to me, man. I'm a big fan of those.
Absolutely. And if old school is near and dear to your heart, next year, the Browns' 75th anniversary, maybe there'll be a little something special there going forward. All right, CJ, we really appreciate the time you join us. Appreciate your Browns fandom growing up here. If there's one thing you want to say to the best fans in the NFL as they get ready for the Browns and the Chiefs on Sunday, what would it be?
Yeah, man, just enjoy the moment, man. We've been waiting on this for a long time. Enjoy the success the players are having. Enjoy the sacrifices everybody's making to kind of make this thing happen. And just understand that I think this is the beginning. I think they're building a winning culture. They're doing a great job of moving forward. And I think each year we'll get better. And our core group of people and players are young and hungry. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do. And I can't wait to be able to get back out there and come to games in Cleveland. And I'll be able to support my Brownies.
I've seen you in the stands many times. It is an honor and a privilege to talk to you here today. Best of luck with the Blazers. And obviously, let's go Browns. When we come back on this Browns Live playoff special, NFL Network analyst Andrew Siciliano joins us. Let's go.
Time to make your disappointing breakfast your X-Fist, because Wendy's has your new breakfast love. With a fresh cracked egg on every sandwich and crispy oven-baked bacon, you'll be telling everybody about the new breakfast you're seeing at Wendy's. Hurry in for the breakfast of your dreams today.
For as long as I can remember, I've watched the sunrise and I've watched the sunset, fueling my drive, feeding the fire within. Embrace it. Harness it.
It's time to let the sun fuel your life. It's time to own your power.
Our students don't just read books or write papers. They forge new paths and new ideas. At LECOM, we build medical professionals who excel. We create the foundation of a better world. We seek new ways to aid others. We lead the next generation. We guide the future of medicine. At LECOM, We make doctors.
Time to make your disappointing breakfast your X-Fist. Because Wendy's has your new breakfast love. With a fresh cracked egg on every sandwich and crispy oven-baked bacon, you'll be telling everybody about the new breakfast you're seeing at Wendy's. Hurry in for the breakfast of your dreams today.
Browns fans, you can now train like the pros at Browns Fit. Our 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art fitness facility is open. Browns Fit creates a safe and healthy environment for members and guests and showcases the latest in innovative fitness technology with personal training and much more. Located in the flats of downtown Cleveland on the second floor of the Aloft Hotel. Specials for Browns Fits are available for a limited time, so act now. Visit us at brownsfit.com today to become a member and train like the pros.
Welcome back to the Browns Live Playoff Special. Nathan Zegura with you, and our Parade of Stars continues. And now we go to Andrew Siciliano from the NFL Network and the Red Zone channel, and a huge Browns fan. Andrew, you and I have spent a lot of time on the sideline before some of these games, and boy, would it be a treat to be there with you for one of these playoff games, maybe next year. But for now, what has this season been like for you and this ride that the Browns have taken us on, including that big win over the Steelers?
Nathan, it's good to see you. Thanks for having me on it. And thanks for the gear. You guys sent the care package, so I decided to put it on. Thank you for that. What has this season meant? It's kind of like reclaiming your childhood, to be honest with you. Like, actually, I brought props. Because Bernie's going to be on. I saw you tweet, so I got my Bernie starting lineup from back in the day. Unopened, too. I don't know why I didn't open this one. But it's been back to childhood, man. Like, I was at the last win, believe it or not, the playoff win, that is, in '94, when Vinny and Belichick beat Parcells and Bledsoe, and all those memories from that game came back Sunday night. And I think when the ball went over Ben's head, all the emotion from all the way back in 1994 came out, because my neighbors thought that there had been a murder in my home. But thankfully there was not.
That's right. Those were good screams. Those were happy screams as the Browns would go on to that historic first quarter. When you're watching this unfold, what was going through your mind? I mean, look, we all thought that the Browns had a chance to go in there. It was tough circumstances, but 28-0, that had never happened before in the history of the playoffs.
Yeah, I have a lot of anxiety during the game. So, I mean, look, 28-0, I'm thrilled. I am over the moon, thrilled and screaming and yelling, and I'm popping another beer, and I got out like my cup. I used to watch every game. I'm looking for it back there on the counter in the 80s, and I was pouring a beer into that, and I was feeling good. But I also, because I had rewatched the game, because NFL Network had re-aired it earlier in the afternoon and earlier in the week, some of the 2002 game, and I still have a scar on my hand there from punching the door in 2002 when that game fell apart in the fourth quarter and we made Tommy Maddox look like John Elway. And so I kind of had that mixed anxiety, and then Collinsworth kept going, well, no one's comfortable yet. When finally Taki picked that ball off and I let out another scream, I lit a cigar, which kids don't smoke and I don't either, but I figured first time in 20 years, go ahead.
A little victory cigar. There's nothing wrong with that. And yes, it did feel like Chris Collinsworth was trying to will the Steelers back into that game, and the Browns were just not having it at all. And you have to appreciate this, being a Browns fan. You talked about the anxiety that comes with it. And I know our fans start to get some anxiety when it's 35-23. And I think it says a lot that we really have gotten somewhere where when a team cuts it, the Steelers cut it to 12 in a playoff game in their house. That's when all of a sudden the anxiety kicks in. That means we're doing something right.
Absolutely. Look, the fact that you go into Pittsburgh and win a playoff win in and of itself, because I've had a lot of people ask, what does it mean this week? Well, a playoff win in and of itself is a major milestone. But to do it in Pittsburgh and over the Steelers, and considering the adversity of the week, obviously, and the adversity of this season. And by the way, the Browns are not unique to the adversity. All 32 teams have had to battle their way through this season. we as a country have had to battle through 2020 and now 2021. They're not unique. But obviously the week before with Stefanski and Batonio and everything that went wrong, no one gave them a shot. And it's a credit to the coach. It's a credit to the entire organization that they were able to do what they did. And hopefully it's a building block for Sunday.
I know on the Red Zone channel, you guys love touchdowns. How about the fact this is a team that's put up 40-plus 4 times this year? You talk about Stefanski and Alex Van Pelt and the offense that they brought here with Bill Callahan and Chad O'Shea. Baker, 19 touchdowns, 1 pick since the beginning of that game against Cincinnati. Chubb and Hunt both over 1,200 total yards, 12 scores. You got Jarvis balling out. Hoops getting in the end zone. Hollywood, Donovan Peoples-Jones. You could go on and on. But when's the last time you got to watch a Browns team that truly is an offensive powerhouse like we're seeing with these guys?
07? Joe Thomas's rookie year? I mean, you knew with that team, once you throw out week 1 and the Charlie Fry thing, like once they got to week 2 and once Derek Anderson put up whatever it was week 2, you felt that team could score at will. But it's been that long. I mean, they've had offensive explosions since then. I'm thinking of Jerome Harrison in Kansas City, actually. I was thinking about that game yesterday because this is Kansas City now. But not like this team. Not where they consistently, even without Beckham, have the ability to score at any time. And it all goes back to the running game, and hopefully it all goes back to the running game tomorrow as well.
Yeah, it's a tall task, right? You're going against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs. Obviously very good, the number 1 offense in the NFL, looking to become the first team ever to host the AFC Championship game 3 seasons in a row. And I think the Browns like it. We like it when the deck is stacked against us, and people maybe don't think we have as much of a chance, but we want more. This team does have a chance. How do you see the Browns getting it done in Kansas City?
All right, so, I mean, it's going to have to be. I know they've said all week it's not about ball control, it's about scoring when you have the ball, and that's how you control the game and you control the clock. I would not be surprised to see them dial up a deep shot early, try to keep those safeties back so you can run the ball effectively the rest of the day. I mean, you're going to need Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb's best effort. You're going to need that offensive line's best effort, and you're going to need the secondary's best effort as well, because Patrick Mahomes, I mean, let's give them their due. They have won 23 out of 24 games. You're throwing out week 17 when Mahomes didn't play for a reason. I don't care if they're close, they win them. They are that good, and he has the ability to take a dead play or a great defense and find a way, because his arm is that strong, his ability is that strong, and his guys are that fast. So whenever you think this game is over, it is not over. He is that magical. But I have faith in this Browns team, and I don't know, man. I call it a gut. I got a feeling. I'm not going to put a score on it because those are silly. No one can see the future. But, Nathan, I got a good feeling.
I love it. Let's go, Andrew. We appreciate you joining us. I know, again, we've gotten to share some good times together, and I look forward to the day when you and I can be in the building together for one of these playoff games, because I think if there is a word for this season, obviously it's been great. Foundation. Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, Paul DePodesta, and the team have built that foundation. So hopefully we'll be doing this on the reg, brother.
Yeah, let's do it, man. NFL Network, between the games today, me and Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson doing the wrap-up of the first one, and tune in then.
Tune in, see our guy, Andrew Siciliano. All right, when we come back, we have got much, much more for you here on the Browns Live Playoff Special. But first, we want to hear from you. And we know that. We're talking about the tweets. We're talking about the questions, getting the best fans in the NFL. But Browns Live, this is the people's show. And if you're enjoying the show, click the link in the description for feedback. Now, even if you're not enjoying it, which would make me sad, tell us how to make it better. Tell us how to give you the Browns Live that you want, that you Browns fans deserve, because that's what we want to do. When we come back, we are being joined by the heart and soul of your Cleveland Browns. One of my favorite Browns of all time, Jarvis Landry. Don't go anywhere. The Browns Live Playoff Special returns right after this.
The ball game is over, and the Cleveland Browns have made it into the NFL playoffs.
Get your Bud Light. Your Bud Light Seltzer here. No matter where you celebrate the Browns, there's always a Bud Light there. And now, it's only one click away from your doorstep. Bud Light Seltzer here.
I'll take one.
Get your Bud Light Seltzer.
Time to start it up, America.
you've got a lot of joy to make. So we're kicking off the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event because you've got turkeys to fry and thanks to give. It's our thing. To help you do it right, we're giving you 90 days payment deferment and 1,000 trade assist cash on the built Ford Tough F-150 and Ford Ranger. That's on top of what your eligible trade is worth. That'll make a lot of joy this holiday. Ford, built for the holidays.
I can catch that. Pass you. You see my highlight tape yet?
Welcome back into the special edition, the playoff special, Browns Live. Nathan Zegura, very happy now to be joined by the guy who I consider the heart and soul of your Cleveland Browns, wide receiver Jarvis Landry. And Jarvis, congratulations. What a night it was. Sunday night, you guys go into Pittsburgh, 48-37. We're on to Kansas City, and we'll get to that in a second. But let's just talk about that night. I was lucky enough to be one of the few in that building to see you guys put on that show, and you could feel the emotions, how much it meant to you guys. What was it like? Take us inside the mind and the heart of Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, listen, man, it was fun. It's definitely one of my best experience or best moments that I've had in the NFL, you know, and then to be able to obviously make history and then do it again and then have the opportunity to do it the way that we did it, in the fashion that we did it. Every guy played hard. Every guy brought the energy from the first play, you know, to the last. So it was a good team win, good team effort.
It certainly was. Let's go to 3rd and 4 at the 40. You guys are up 7-0. You just got an interception. You want to capitalize on that. That is the money down. They go to you. You come in motion. You know it's man. And a lot of times when you have done that, you run that speed out. And you kind of sold that. You were able to cross the face. They dropped Minka back in that cover one robber, a kind of a window dressed version of it. And yet the ball was right where it had to be. And then you did the rest. And let me just say, for me, it was a treat to be about 10 yards, it felt like, away from you because, dude, you were fired up after you got in the end zone.
Yeah, I think from the play happening to scoring and then again to everything that whole entire week and, you know, about the energy that we want to bring it as a team and having the opportunity to start the way that we did. And, you know, then that play to go 14-0 on the road this early, you know, it was one of those definitely, you know, high energy things where everybody was just pumped up. And, you know, I'm just happy that I was able to make a play.
It was a huge play, and I think everybody saw that one. But what people may not have seen is on the very next possession when you guys go up 21-0, Kareem runs their linebacker over from the 5. And then if you notice at the end, you see a guy fly in from the far hash and launch himself into the pile, pushing him in. And, of course, that's you. And I think that says everything about you. Of course, you're a wide receiver, but you know in this offense you got to block. You've done that. Sometimes you throw touchdowns. You do whatever you have to do. But in that case, you said, look, if me jumping in here gets him that that extra inch and makes that a touchdown, I'm doing it. And I think that's why people love you. I know it's why your teammates love you. And that to me is just, when I say the heart and soul, it's a little thing like that really makes it stand out.
Man, it's so important to me to see everybody's success, other guys' success. And, I've always tried to be the guy that no matter if the ball's coming to me or not, still have an impact in the play, and I think the way that the line block, the way that Kareem chose to be as physical as he is a grown man, and then, me and Jack being able to just finish it off and push him through there and celebrating with our teammates, then going to the sideline and coming back and doing it again. You know what I mean? So that was just part of that night. That was just so special.
So you talk kind of big picture about this game, and obviously it was a weird week. You guys don't have the practices. You don't have your head coach, Kevin Stefanski, with you. Take us through that week for you guys. What was that like? And then to be able to come out and I think to execute the way you guys did right out of the gate says all you need to know about this team, the buy-in, the professionalism from the coaches and the players.
Yeah, that whole week was like just uncertainty. Like literally, we did not know what was happening every day until 45 minutes before the next thing happened. You know what I mean? So we were just kind of playing everything from home by ear, doing all of the virtual meetings, things like that. Then you hear coaches out, then you hear another coach is out, and top DBs are out, and top line, and you just I always just think to myself and remember what Coach Stefanski always says, like, just hit the curveball. It's gonna come. Like, it's part of this year. It's different. So I think we did a good job at that.
Yeah, I would say so. I got a chance to talk with Coach earlier in the week, and he told me the first time his phone rang after this game, the first person that he talked to was you. And at first it was a phone call, and you're like, no, unacceptable. I need FaceTime. You call back on FaceTime, and you thought he was telling you to put your mask on. But what was that conversation like? And I think it's so cool. And I'll tell you this, I don't know if he shares with you, but it meant a lot to him that you called him from the field that day after that game.
Yeah, man. I honestly, going into that game, I want to say Saturday night, like, it hit me that, like, damn, my coach ain't here, and one of the things that, like, I knew that I was playing for, not only just to win, but I was playing for to be able to FaceTime him. It was almost kind of like premeditated in a sense, but like it was one of the motivations that I kind of used. Like, I can't wait to win this game and be able to call him and tell him, get out of that basement. We coming home with a dub, and let's go try to do it again, And I was just so excited after the game. I saw somebody on the field, and I was like, hey, call coach. And I was like, no, FaceTime. I want to see his face. And he answered, and man, I mean, full of emotion, full of smiling, which you rarely see him smile, so it was good to see some emotion out of him down there in the basement.
It was very special, and you guys are now obviously on to Kansas City. And I think that's something that this team has done so well, is take the emotion of whatever happened, good or bad, from the week before and then get on to the business. And it's probably weird that you're actually having a normal week this week. That probably seems almost abnormal, even though you're back to what has been the normal schedule. But what have you seen from these guys as you get ready to take on a Kansas City team that we know, defending Super Bowl champions? It's going to be a great game. And, on the offensive side, you guys are going to have to bring it and keep scoring points like you've done all year.
Yeah, man, these guys are, they're defending champs for a reason, so I think for us, just being able to go out there and execute, no self-inflicting wounds, just continue to move the ball up and down the field, do the things that we do, don't give them more opportunities to score than we have. I think that's kind of the biggest thing.
I'm sure you are fired up for this one. I'm sure the players, the coaches, everybody in this organization, so happy with what was accomplished. But of course, we know the phrase, we want more, and you'll get an opportunity to do that on Sunday. But I know that you love this city. And I think that's one of the things that's so cool about you, that you've come here, you've embraced Cleveland, and Cleveland has embraced you. So it's all about the fans, right? That's what Browns Live is all about. So what do you want to say to the fans, knowing that you delivered one of the great moments in Cleveland Browns history? This was a very important game. This was a seminal moment, and there's more work to do. I'm not taking away from that. But what would you want to say to the fans about what you guys have done so far, what you want to keep doing, and what it means to have them supporting you the whole time?
Well, I mean, I think just, first of all, just the support. I think the support has been steady for more years than I can count, and to be able to have this moment, for this organization, to be able to wear these colors proudly, to be able to, have the supporters and the fans that we have, which is the best in the world. And I wish they were there. I wish they were there to kind of, really, really be a part of it. But, I think the things that we've done this year, obviously they understand and they're so tied into it, man. And like you say, we want more. So we're going for more.
I try to do my best to represent them from the front row, Jarvis. That's what I was trying to do in Pittsburgh.
Trust me. If they don't know, we need to get a camera on you because listen, man, you be pumping me up out there for real.
Appreciate it. Well, you do the pumping up for us. Continue this great run. Appreciate you being here, and best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Don't you go anywhere because the parade of luminaries continues when this special playoff edition of Browns Live returns.
Time to make your disappointing breakfast your X-Fist, because Wendy's has your new breakfast love. With a fresh cracked egg on every sandwich and crispy oven-baked bacon, you'll be telling everybody about the new breakfast you're seeing at Wendy's. Hurry in for the breakfast of your dreams today.
For as long as I can remember, I've watched the sunrise and I've watched the sunset, fueling my drive, feeding the fire within. Embrace it. Harness it.
It's time to let the sun fuel your life. It's time to own your power.
Time to start it up, America. You've got a lot of joy to make. So we're kicking off the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event because you've got turkeys to fry and thanks to give. It's our thing. To help you do it right, we're giving you 90 days payment deferment and 1,000 trade assist cash on the built Ford Tough F-150 and Ford Ranger. That's on top of what your eligible trade is worth. That'll make a lot of joy this holiday. Ford, built for the holidays.
Time to make your disappointing breakfast your X-Fist, because Wendy's has your new breakfast love. With a fresh cracked egg on every sandwich and crispy oven-baked bacon, you'll be telling everybody about the new breakfast you're seeing at Wendy's. Hurry in for the breakfast of your dreams today.
Welcome back into our playoff special edition of Browns Live. Very happy now to be joined by the Browns Executive Vice President of Football Operations and General Manager, Andrew Berry. And AB, first of all, congratulations. I know you're not satisfied. I know there's more work to be done, but congratulations on what was certainly a historic and definitely a seminal moment for Browns fans going into Pittsburgh as the main event of Super Wildcard Sunday, winning 48-37 and advancing now to the Elite Eight of the NFL playoffs.
Well, Nate, first, thank you for having me. I'm excited to join everyone today. And yeah, last weekend was certainly a very special night, I know, for our fans and really even certainly for our organization as well. So we're excited about this upcoming opponent in Kansas City this weekend.
All right, so you and I were few of the people that were actually in the building that were not playing or on the sidelines, coaching, etc. What was it like for you? I can tell you for me, that first quarter, at one point, I'm like, did I drive into a portal? What's happening right here? But what was it like for you when you see this team, the first snap over the head, all of a sudden it's 7-0 Browns, and then you look up 15 minutes later, it's 28-0 Browns in your first ever playoff game as a general manager in the NFL?
I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever seen a start to a game quite like that. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. But, I think we all did, at least internally, expected our team to come out strong. I know that seems weird to say in a week where we have very little on-field time. We're obviously dealing with a number of COVID-related issues and not having our head coach. But, we had just seen this group of players, coaches, and staff, work through very challenging situations all year. And our guys really had banked the reps. They had banked the reps all season long. Obviously, we had played Pittsburgh the week before, and we really did expect our guys to come out and have a really good, strong performance. And certainly, the first quarter was about as good as you could script it. So was just really happy and pleased with our team.
And I talked with Coach Stefanski earlier in the week, and he echoed a lot of those sentiments. We'd put in the work. This is who we've been all year long. We've overcome adversity. And you guys, you really have. But he also said you got to give AB some credit when you think about the fact that in the first round of the playoffs, guys who made critical plays, Carl Joseph signed this offseason, wasn't a starter in the middle of the season. Sheldrick Redwine wasn't a starter in the middle of the season. You talk about Porter Gustin, again, not a starter in the middle of the season. Michael Dunn comes in and plays phenomenal left guard. Blake Hance, you had him drive in from New Jersey a week ago. He plays great. MJ Stewart, you signed him after he was released from Tampa early in the offseason. He has an interception week 17, which was a massive game we had to win, and now in the playoffs. And, of course, Taki, he's been the one guy that's probably been a constant out of all those names. He has an interception. When you see these guys step up that, when you probably dreamt of, we beat the Steelers in Wild Card Weekend, those are not names that probably were at the top of your mind imagining this scenario, and yet there they were. This roster creation you guys have done such a great job with. Was that kind of gratifying to see these guys that fill out the bottom of the roster making these impactful plays?
I think it's certainly satisfying, but the credit really belongs to them in terms of preparing on a weekly basis as if their number is going to be called at any moment, because we've seen probably more than ever this year that can happen a week from the game. It could happen the night before the game, and we've seen both scenarios. And then also I think, Kevin and his staff, they really deserve credit for preparing guys up and down the roster, understanding that's a reality, because that's not always the case in every organization, and certainly everywhere that I've been. And for our staff to have a development mindset as they're preparing our primary starters has really been fantastic. But yes, very, very gratifying to see guys step up that have been called into more significant roles as the year has progressed.
Now, I've gotten to know you for many, many years, and I only had known Coach for, a year and about a week since that's how long since he's been in the building here with the Browns. And you guys are very similar, both very unflappable, but I know not being there was hard for him. And I know how hard it was for him when you finally got to talk to him. And I'm sure it was a great relief. And I also sure it was like, all right, we're on to Kansas City, no time to celebrate. What was that call like? And what were those emotions that you guys shared?
No, it was actually pretty special. As soon as we were able to, as soon as Preef had finished speaking with the team, the first thing that we did was got Kevin on FaceTime, in the head coach's locker room, just to tell him congratulations and obviously share a bunch of smiles and virtual fist pumps, because look, it was a special moment, and those are some of the moments that you work all the hours to prepare for, and to drink a little bit of that in as we celebrate the victory together, even if Kevin was still in his basement, was a pretty cool moment. It was really gratifying for sure.
By the way, there's no doubt that he has elevated the notion of being in one's basement with his performance this week and what the Browns did.
Yeah, no, it's for sure, Nate.
All right, AB, as we look ahead here, I know you would say the work is never done. The goal, obviously, to go 1-0 again this week, earn the opportunity to play in the AFC Championship game. What is kind of the stage that is set here, Browns and Chiefs? And, by the way, you get to be in the building this week. Coach is in the building. Knock on wood, you have a fully as normal a week as we've had in probably a month. What's just kind of this week been like following the chaos of last week?
I was joking with Kevin that normal actually feels abnormal just because the last 3 weeks have been so different. But it is nice to get back into a quote unquote normal workflow. I think we're excited about the matchup against Kansas City, largely because it's the next game. And look, we're one of the 8 teams remaining that have a chance to compete for, the Lombardi Trophy. So we stay pretty even keeled around here, as I think Nate, and really focus on things on a day-to-day basis in our preparation, and believe that if we can do that right, that things will take care of themselves on Sunday.
All right, AB, I know that this is your second go around and we've known each other for a long time. And I know you were here in this city when the things in terms of success were not as obvious as they are right now with this team going on to the divisional round against the defending Super Bowl champions. And I know you know how much football and the Browns specifically mean to this town. It was one of the reasons I think that you were attracted to come back here and take on this challenge. What does it mean to you, and what would you like to say, to these fans that you get to be a part of really football history here in Cleveland and really build a foundation that we all believe is going to lead to a lot more moments like this down the line?
And probably the simple thing is just thank you. Thank you for the unconditional support, the passion, the belief in the team and the organization, because you're right. The city of Cleveland, our awesome, loyal fan base, they really deserve this season, and they deserve to have the season to continue going, even this weekend. And so I'm just really happy for all of our Browns followers. Actually, probably my biggest regret is that, the stadium can't be full on Sundays, and we can't perhaps fully enjoy it in person. Although, we can do it virtually and certainly from our homes. But really, it's just really maybe a heart of thankfulness for the just unconditional support that our faithful has had.
Well, let me tell you, we are very thankful for you and what you have done along with Kevin and Paul and all the great coaches and players and ownership of this team that has helped get us to this point. So thank you. Thanks so much for joining us here on this very special playoff edition of Browns Live, and good luck on Sunday, AB. It's been an awesome ride, awesome to be a part of it. And I can't wait till I can get back in the building and embrace you, man. I miss you. And this has been such a special thing for everybody associated with this organization and everybody who roots for this team in this city, in this country, and around the world. So thank you so much.
No, thank you, Nate. And let's get another one this weekend.
You got to feel good when that is the guy at the top of your organization. Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, Paul DePodesta. So similar, so cool. Cool is the other side of the pillow, as they say. Well, coming up next, we have a Browns living legend who had ice water in his veins, unflappable, the great living legend, Bernie Kosar, next when Browns Live Playoff Special continues.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Our students don't just read books or write papers. They forge new paths and new ideas. At LECOM, we build medical professionals who excel. We create the foundation of a better world. We seek new ways to aid others. We lead the next generation. We guide the future of medicine. At LECOM, we make doctors.
Browns fans, you can now train like the pros at Browns Fit. Our 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art fitness facility is open. Browns Fit creates a safe and healthy environment for members and guests and showcases the latest in innovative fitness technology with personal training and much more. Located in the flats of downtown Cleveland on the second floor of the Aloft Hotel. Specials for Browns Fits are available for a limited time, so act now. Visit us at brownsfit.com today to become a member and train like the pros.
That's the elegance of having a mustache.
Cleveland Brown fans, can you say go Browns?
Browns fans, welcome back to the Browns Live Playoff Special. Nathan Zegura, and boy, time flies when you're having fun because we are now at our final guest, and as a guest that means more, I think, to this city than anybody means to any city in the country, because he embodies all that we love, all the good old memories, and he still helps us make new ones every time we get an opportunity to talk with him. As I welcome in Browns legend, quarterback Bernie Kozar. Bernie, first of all, great to see you, and thanks for being with us here today on the Browns Live Playoff Special.
Thank you, Nathan. Honored and humbled to be with you and to be January 16th, and we're still talking Browns football about the 2020 season. How awesome is that?
It is awesome, and it's great, and I know you probably feel it just as much as when you were playing. And by the way, tremendous background you've got going on there. This is great. You were in the full playoff spirit, Bernie. But when you were watching that game against Pittsburgh, knowing what it means to this city, knowing to get the playoff win was huge, but to have it happen in Pittsburgh against the Steelers, what did that mean to you, and what do you think it means to this town?
You know, Nathan, what a beautiful spot to start. You know, after 18 years of having a playoff game, and then to have a playoff victory, first and foremost, hats off and a tribute to our fantastic players, coaches, and organization to be able to go out and accomplish something like that. But from a fan perspective, from a community perspective, what it really means to our fans and to our area. We know what's been happening through the 2020 years. Come on, it's been so much talked about with this pandemic and the uncertainty and the health and wellness that we're trying to incorporate in all of us. Then we saw what happened in our great capital this last week. And to have sports like this, to be able to be almost a healing force, a therapeutic escape from some of the realities that have been happening and going on, it's really so exciting to be a small part of it and to see our fans be able to really enjoy this atmosphere and attitude that's been going on from our fantastic team right now.
It really is. It is fantastic. And you know what it is like to be a beloved quarterback in this city better than anybody. And it still goes on to this day. Everywhere you go, when people tell, oh, man, I ran into Bernie. Oh, and you are such a great guy, so generous with our fans. You know, what does it mean to you personally? You personally, who have stayed with this organization, stood by it through some tough times, obviously, to be a part of it now and having the fun. We get to talk every week on Cleveland Browns Daily, et cetera, all the things you're doing about this team at this time for this city.
Well, Nathan, fantastic point for you. And actually for both of us now, I'm being a little older than you, but really for this year to have a culmination of such excitement, you know, we've really come back since 1999. We're talking about 18 years since we've been in the playoffs, but really it's the first time this century that ourselves and our fans have been able to enjoy this time of the year. We're talking about January 16th right now, and we're talking about a meaningful playoff game, a divisional championship round playoff game against the defending Super Bowl champs. I mean, for the last 20 years, we've been talking about draft picks, who the coach is going to be. Isn't it awesome to know we know who our quarterback is? We know who our head coach is. We know who our awesome general manager, Andrew Berry, who I'm so honored to be following on this show. We know that Paul DiBattista is one of the great leaders in the league, and we know that we have a bright future in front of us. What an awesome attitude and state of being in the middle of January, when we're still in our great state of Ohio going through a curfew, some stay-at-home orders, some uncertainty going on in even our state capital. To have such a fun, exciting, competitive, gritty, persistent, resilient football team and organization like our Cleveland Browns is almost a beautiful distraction, and almost, I think, should be almost a lesson for people out here in not only just our area, about how important it is to have this type of spirituality and community and belief in each other, because this is really true spiritual healing in its truest sense.
You are absolutely right about that, Bernie. And you know, this organization, the foundation is built. You talked about Stefanski and Andrew Berry and Paul DePodesta and what a great job they've done at top. But we know in the NFL, it always comes back to the quarterback. And Baker Mayfield, since the beginning of that Cincinnati game, 19 touchdowns, 1 interception, playing at an MVP level, nothing short of spectacular. When you put on the tape and you know more about quarterback play than most people have forgotten in their lives, what is it that you see about Baker Mayfield?
When you put on the tape, it's fantastic to see how he's actually executing from the quarterback perspective. But what's even just as impressive, just like we're talking about how awesome it's been for us fans, for the people in the community, for the enjoyment aspect of it, from the healing aspect of it, within the community, within our country. And I love how players, it'd be so easy for our organization, for our coaching staff, for our young players, for our young team, for our young quarterback to be satisfied, to get complacent. But it's beautiful to see his direct quotes of, he's not satisfied. This team's not satisfied. So not only is he playing exceptional from the execution standpoint, from the throwing standpoint, from the accuracy standpoint, from the leadership perspective, and then not being satisfied, wanting to accomplish more. It's beautiful that we made the playoffs. It's even better that we went to the Pittsburgh and won a playoff game. So easy for our guys to be satisfied. Yet here he is wanting more right now. That's the telling sign of great maturity of a leader you want leading your team.
No doubt, and these guys talk about his leadership all the time, and you are right, Bernie. We want more, and more now it means you're taking on a former NFL MVP, the defending Super Bowl champions, as you mentioned. We got a fan question for you that I can't wait to hear your answer to, and this comes from Chris Myers, 84, and he says, Bernie, what approach should the Browns take to try and limit this Kansas City offense as much as possible? Do you keep 7 or 8 in coverage, zone, man, heavy blitz? I'll tell you right now, don't blitz Mahomes. Don't do it. 124 quarterback rating against the blitz. But you got to keep them honest. What approach made you the most uncomfortable, and what can the Browns try to do to Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and the #1 passing offense in the NFL?
Well, there's no question. There's no question the defending Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, are a phenomenal offense. And stopping them and holding them to almost nothing is probably impossible. But how do you slow them down? Nathan, and for the viewers out there, you're so astutely, perfectly right. When Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City offense gets the heavy blitz against them, you may fool them once or twice sporadically, but statistically, they destroy the blitz. So when you're able to have that many weapons like that, if you're going to blitz, thou must be very careful how you do that, because that offense and that personnel group has been incredibly successful with that. One of the things that you saw last week that was phenomenal with our coach Joe Wood's defense is when you're able to get pressure rushing 4 guys and you're able to have 7 in coverage, and you're able to harass the quarterback like we did with Big Ben last week. And even when you're not able to get there, imperative that you're able to get your hands up, deflect tip balls, force different directions from the throws, get some tip balls. We got that last week. Patrick Mahomes does the different arm angles and the sidearm throws like I was capable of doing, which is able to maybe get away from some of those tip balls. He has a lot more athleticism, though. So having some coverage back there at times to make sure you don't always get in a race game with him is imperative that you mix it up. But you don't want to give them the easy big shots because they've been successful against that.
You're absolutely right. Listen, pressure without blitzing, the key against Mahomes, as Bernie talked about, his quarterback rating in those scenarios drops to 74. That's about the only scenario in which Patrick Mahomes seems human. Bernie, I cannot thank you enough for what you mean to this city, for what you mean to this organization, what you mean to me. Getting to work with you is a tremendous honor, and I know how fired up you're going to be tomorrow for the Browns and the Chiefs at 3:05, and we can't tell you how much everybody here appreciates you and what you represent.
Thank you, Nathan. You're the best. You matter. Go Browns.
Let's go. That is right, folks. All right. Before we go, let's get into our keys to victory, because we're not here to talk about going to Kansas City and competing. We're talking about going to Kansas City to win the game because we want more. So I'm going to give you 4 keys to victory. Now, last week when I did this for the Steelers, the Browns went 4 for 4 on these 4 keys. If we do that again, I feel very good about our chances to win. We're going to start with key number 1, and you already know this. Get out to a fast start. The Browns, that's what they had to do against the Steelers. They did it, racing out to that 28-0 lead. The Chiefs starters have not played in about 20 days. They sat in week 17, and then they did not play last week. So if there is any chance that they could be a little rusty, it's going to be early. Be aggressive early. Jump on this team. Try to take the lead into the half. The Browns, 11-0 this season when they lead at the half. Key number 2, win the turnover battle. The Chiefs, they are very good. They don't turn the ball over much. But then again, neither did the Steelers, and we had 5 in that game. The Browns this year, 11-0 when they are neutral or win the turnover battle. And so that's going to be, again, critically important. 2 things where you're 11-0. We've won 12 times. I would say those 2 things are very highly correlated to our winning. So if you can get that, you've got a chance. You want to limit their possessions, maximize your possessions. Sometimes doing that is taking the football away from them. And for us on offense, it's taking care of it, just like Baker has. Like I said, 1 interception since the beginning of week 7. Phenomenal quarterback play. Best in the NFL in that particular category. All right, key number 3, time of possession. We've heard a lot about this. You want to keep the Chiefs' offense off of the field. With Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback, over the last 3 seasons, they're 41-9. That's a pretty good record. They're a good team. There's no doubt about it. But 6 of those 9 losses have come in games in which the Chiefs possess the ball for 25 minutes or fewer. So while we need to score points and you need to be aggressive, there's no doubt what you would love to see with the pass and the run. It's not just running. You can't just run it every play. With the pass and the run, control the clock. Keep them on the sideline. I expect Kevin Stefanski to be aggressive on 4th downs. You got to keep the possession, keep it going, and then have those end in 7s. Remember, the Chiefs, they are the worst red zone defense in the NFL. And I mentioned our running backs earlier, that dynamic duo, 4th in history, 1,200-plus total yards, 12 or more touchdowns apiece. When the Browns have 150 yards rushing this year, they're 6-0. And the opponent, when they rush for 150 yards, that happened in 6 of the Chiefs' 9 losses over the last 3 seasons. And so it may sound like, Nathan, you're telling us we got to slow it down, squeeze the football. I'm not saying that. We want to possess it and limit their possessions. And what we want to do, though, is score. And the way to score are big plays. This is the 4th and final key, because you can beat this team in a shootout. Like I said, we have 5 games with more than 40 points this year. We can score on any of them. 3 of those 40-point games were against playoff teams, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Titans. So we need to hit big plays. What are big plays? Passes of 20 yards or more, runs of 10 yards or more. The Browns this year are 9-0, undefeated, when they have more big plays than their opponents. So that is a huge thing. When the Browns hit 11 big plays, 3-0 this season. The Chiefs, when their opponent has more big plays than them, they're a 500 football team. So that is the 4th factor to watch. You hit that number 11, like I said, though, I think that is a big one. The Chiefs 4-4 when the opponent hits 11 big plays, 37-5 when they don't. So look for the Browns to control it and hit those big plays. Fast start, win the turnover battle. Control the time of possession, possess the football. Sometimes the best offense is a good defense, and then hit those big plays like we have done all year. Out big play, the big play, Kansas City Chiefs. Those are your keys to victory. You know I can't wait. Cleveland, I know you can't wait. You guys deserve this. I had a tear in my eye when the clock hit 0-0 in week 17 and we knew we were going to the playoffs. A tear in my eye on the sidelines, one of the lucky ones to be there for that game as we ended the Steelers season in advance. And I hope to have a few more flowing after about 6 o'clock, 6:30 on Sunday when we go to Arrowhead. Follow the plan, unflappable, and Kevin Stefanski, Baker Mayfield, and lead this team to another victory, one step closer to the ultimate goal of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. We want to thank all of our great guests who joined us on this Browns Live playoff special, because we couldn't have done it without them. CJ McCollum, Andrew Berry, Andrew Siciliano, Jarvis Landry, and of course, the great Bernie Kozar, who was with me. If you guys liked what you saw in this Browns Live, click the link in the description. Let us know what you thought of it. If there are things we can improve, let us know. This is the show for you, for the best fans in the NFL, and our goal is to give you the best content possible every time you tune into Browns Live, and you can help us make that happen. The drive-through rally, it's still going on until 4 o'clock today. So come on down, get your poster, say hi to the Browns alums, stay safe in your cars, and the Pro Shop open till 5 so you can get all the great Browns playoff gear. I want to give a big shout out to our whole team, Paul Taylor, Drew Davidson, Baco, everybody who helped make this happen, New Rob, all the guys, because we have the best content team in the business. They put in so much time, and we appreciate you for tuning in to everything that we put forward for you. We love our jobs. We love Cleveland. We love the Browns. And at 3:05, we're all going to be locked in. So let's say it. Let's go Browns! Thanks for watching the Browns Live Playoff Special. Stay safe. Let's go!